They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
A hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me, and let the whole see the with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. 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 Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember YAHANNA's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. There was designed fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. Payback is a
Shalom, sir. Y'all watch your action with the thought.
All right, clap it up. All welcome to another episode in the conflict zone. All right,
Yes, sir.
tonight we want to look at land reform in Jamaica here. You know, one of the big problems why Westmoreland, even though they say St. Elizabeth hardest hit, you know, it kind of is a toss up between Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth because Westmoreland people,
Kind of okay.
and them get the over chop up with the zinc.
Okay.
Westmoreland then get the over cut up. And the problem, what caused that is because of the kind of houses that they have. Chattel housing. Chattel houses. You know,
Okay.
you lease the land, you lift up your house and you can't go put it down. So guess what happens? That house is not fastened to the ground. So because it's not fastened to the ground and it's wood, it lift up easy in the case of hurricane. Now,
Okay.
what caused them to not fasten the house to the ground? The problem really lies in land ownership. The former slaveholders' children still hold on to the land. Many of the lands down there in Westmoreland is owned by the sugar industry. And there is no reform to let these people own the land. So because they don't own the land, they cannot put up a structure that is affixed to the land. In other words, that is a part of the land.
Okay.
Because if they do so, then it's gonna belong to the whoever they lease it from. So you know what they do, you own the house and you move the house and you put it where you want to put it. You put it where you can get the land to lease. But the hurricane now has proven that it's not a viable option anymore. I'm sure those people is still in trauma.
Right.
Experiencing trauma. Alright? Now we're gonna do some research on that. You'll find AI, the Google AI when they ask him about land reform needed in Jamaica. You know what Google say? Yes. Surprisingly. Google say, yeah man, land reform needed man. Google say, yes, significant land reform is needed in Jamaica, focusing on modernizing land titling, regularizing informal settlements, adverse possession, and addressing historical inequities, with major parties proposing faster titling, reducing the 60-year adverse possession rule to 25. At the 60 years that of a government land. You're on the government land for 60 years and they can adverse possession, then you can claim it. And so they need to reduce that.
What's sir?
Government land.
Yeah.
If you are on it for 60 years, that is informal settlement.
Yeah. Kind of.
Oh, that's a long time.
No. We are say after 60 years they can own it.
You can start making moves to own it.
Okay. Kind of.
But that's a kind of gamble where not a wise gamble. I would wouldn't advise nobody to do that when it comes to government land. You go 59 years and then just come push off. You want to land for 59 years, you know how old you get now? Because you're not, you can't capture, you can't go on that land when you're 1 year old. So let's say you go on the land when you're at least 20. That means they would remove you by your 80. That's a old person walking with stick. So that's kind of risky. But anyway, the opposition is proposing 25 years. But this was from June. This was before the hurricane. All right. So then say now reduce it to 25 and digitizing records for security, opportunity, and economic growth, as many Jamaicans lack secure ownership despite long-term occupation. Key issues driving reform: unregistered lands and insecure tenure. Many families occupy land for generations without formal titles, hindering wealth transfer and economic participation. So that's the thing, you know, when you talk about economic participation, imagine you doing a business, you need some little security to secure a loan, but you can't use the land because, you know, yeah, or maybe maybe registered, but it's a family land. And the subdivision not approved. A lot of things, you know. But these are the things. If you remember the Morant Bay Rebellion, you know, it was about land. Morant Bay Rebellion was about land. Well, that was the major land rebellion there. Major land rebellion in Jamaica. That was in St. Thomas. Now, in Clarendon, you have a whole lot of lands as well that is controlled by the sugar belt. In every parish that sugar was, a whole lot of lands controlled by, what do they call it, sugar holding authority, something like so. They hold a lot, thousands of acres of land, or thousands of hectares of land. Because but it is the same land which the former slaves have to be living on. Because it's the same land, they used to have what they call sugar houses. Why they call them sugar houses? That these were houses that was made of timber, made of wood, and provided through the sugar industry or the sugar companies that these people would have worked for. And then these lands now, these houses, you would live in these houses and work for the company. And of course, you work in these lands and you have families on it, but you don't own it. So what it seems that they do now, especially in Westmoreland, because other parishes have done some amount of land reform, but Westmoreland, it seems as if the major landholder down there is, I think it's Appleton. Appleton, yeah man, Appleton is a direct link to his thing they own it now, you know. It have a new owner. Appleton Sugar Estate have a new owner. What's the name? Campari.
Okay,
Yeah, the Campari group. But who Campari buy it from? Campari buy it from I think it's Lascelles Damakada, who are children of slave masters. So them sell now and who knows, maybe they can about them business or whatever. So those were one of the family. Remember one time they used to talk about it, the Trinidad family in Jamaica.
Yeah, Ghanaian concern.
I think they were one of them. But it wasn't a joke. No, not Campari. Campari is an American company, I think, or is a foreign company that come out. Whoever it was that owned Appleton before Campari, by the way.
Okay, Ghanaian.
So they were one of the 22 families. And of course, these were people which, when they cry, the government have to hush them and sing a lullaby and get them back to sleep.
Okay.
Doesn't matter the pain that you, the farmer, this is that, and when when we the truth says this is the white man's heaven, there are some people who take offense to it, but it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Imagine.
Right.
Slavery ended from 1860 something, you know. And yet still those who were slave owners, the system is still geared towards making them happy. Whatever business field they decide they are going in, it is the duty of the government to ensure that they make money. That's how it runs. So, I mean, it's their heaven. But you know, there's a heaven that is coming which isn't for them.
Right.
And you're going to tell me, you know, that Christ came and, you know, he's going to take them to heaven as well. Take them to heaven to do what? They're already in heaven here. All they need to do is to do what Christ said and share what they have, since as they so believe in Christ. They ain't doing that.
Well,
all right. We're not run too far before we touch a scripture. Give me Isaiah 61 and 7.
Ghanaian.
The thing is, you know, these because people keep quiet and is living and is happy, and you know the least that they might be paying seem manageable, they don't make any trouble. But it's the most I know is lifting up their skirts and showing the flaws and showing all the things that is happening within the system. Because if it wasn't for this hurricane, people would not be aware that that is the serious problem down there.
Right.
People just think that Westmoreland people love these kind of houses, but they would like to build big houses and things like anybody else. But you're not giving them land, and I don't mean give. They can buy it. I mean, sell them. Give it. As a matter of fact, they should get it. They've worked for it for many years, but now it's a new company coming now, you know. So the more tell you that, well, it's not needed. It's not I that was there, so they can come to me with that. You understand?
Gone.
Yeah, they can come with things like that. But Christ not business with that. You find this scripture?
Yeah, Ghanaian concern. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 61 and 7. For your shame ye shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore, in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them.
So, for those who believe that, Christ return and going to share our inheritance with other nations. No. As a matter of fact, it's going to be double. To all those of you in Westmoreland there, just hold on, man. You're
Right.
going to get a double portion,
Gun.
right? And we don't preach about die and go to heaven.
Right.
Right, because what God said, He's for the living.
Gun.
I'm a God of the living, not a God of the dead. Right? If you remember that what He said.
So, okay, I want the scripture.
Yeah, if I can find it.
Gun.
Matthew 22 and 32.
Gun. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 32.
Hold on. Use Mark 12 and 27. I say.
Mark 12 and 27.
Yeah.
Gun. This is the book of Mark, chapter 12 and verse 27. And it says, He is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. He therefore do greatly err.
All right. So we don't preach that thing about die and go to heaven.
Right.
Your reward will be here in life.
That's right.
So hurricane mash you up. Why? Because of farmer oppression. And you don't, I mean, it is such that the people don't even know that.
Gun.
It is so bad that, I mean, people just take them bones. I don't realize that then get them big bones and chop up, and you have to bury your brother and want a yard and all them things. Is mainly because of the land, which was not given, you were not allowed to purchase. Right? So you lease the land and you put the chattel house in on it. And then after a while now that chattel housing becomes the norm. Where, maybe somebody get a house spot to buy a window. And do the same thing. They can already own the house and put the house, the chattel. A chattel is something that you can move. Like a car is a chattel.
Still like yes, sir.
Yeah.
You see, them put a chain with this pulley thing where we see like them a pull out a house or pull off a house for one video. I see same thing you talk about, right? Where them connect it to a chain thing and them kind of pull it. It's a house so them can move like you said.
Yes, the house that you can move.
Yeah, and them use them think, all right, the house of it seems like it did fall off at foundation or something.
Oh, so then you come along and bring it back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what name, but that sound like a weight problem here.
Yeah,
Isn't
come
it?
along.
Yeah, one chain thing, right?
The chain thing and come along.
Yeah, kind of. So
That come along is a machine, simple machine that has been invented for decades ago.
God.
You can use that and move mountain now.
God.
So they use the come along now and put back the house and the foundation because the hurricane shift it. But a lot of the house, they want to shift, then lift up. If you remember the story where man say him there in a house and him, when him look, when him see the house, go up in a year with him. And him say, why me name book this a flight here, I come off and him chuck out. You hear that story?
La, I never see that one there, sir.
Him is a chattel house him have.
God.
He said here lift up the plane, the house lift up with him like an aeroplane.
God.
And him have to chuck out of the house. And when him look, he say, oh, go crash over one side, they mash up. Right? So, in other words, the failure of these houses in the storm would not have probably been so bad. Even if the house fail, because the house lift up and gone now, people then start get cut up with zinc.
God.
Which has caused they call it a dressing epidemic or pandemic. They have to import some nurses. Some nurses come out here for the purpose of dressing.
So that, yes, sir.
Yeah. No, I said that's how bad it is.
God.
Yeah.
So that, yeah. So that would have mean then, Westmoreland first at St. Elizabeth.
Well, St. Elizabeth get a stronger wind and the sea coming.
Okay, go on.
But them house there, except for the ones on the seaside.
Yeah.
The houses stand up. The roof gone, but they don't get them over chop up with the zinc and thing.
God.
But Westmoreland, because of the nature of their houses, the devastation seemed higher and worse there.
Okay, go on.
And then if you remember now, Westmoreland, because of whatever reason, aid wasn't reaching in Westmoreland.
Yeah, that's my next point to me that make I'm mostly St. Elizabeth. I get most of the aid as far as what me I understand. So Westmoreland kind of in a bigger crisis I know then.
Yes, man, Westmoreland not serious.
God.
That's the thing. The radar have to go on them now.
God.
This is how the most I expose the things that is happening to his people.
Right.
Anyway, we have one big land in the Middle East. Most that land is so big that of several countries. I don't know all the Arab countries them, except for Iran, is in that land.
God.
All of Yemen, most of Iraq, Bahrain, Dubai, Oman, all of them.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, Egypt. Egypt is not in the land.
No.
Right.
Egypt is on Africa.
Right, Egypt is on Africa, but all that big base in there, going all the way up to Yemen.
God.
So the scripture says that in Mark is not a God of the dead, he's a God of the living. So, don't expect us to tell you that you're going to die and go to heaven in Jesus' name.
Right.
All right, so this back to the AI thing here now, the research here. Historical, outdated laws. The current registration of Title Act requires an excessive 60 years of adverse possession for crown land claims, which is seen as unreasonable, very unreasonable.
God.
That's why they allow so you can take a government land. Historical inequity. A legacy of colonial land distribution favor the plantocracy. Now we're talking. leaving small farmers with less fertile land, a problem agrarian reform aim to address. So I'm going to try and address that. Economic stagnation. Lack of clear titles prevent land from being used as collateral, limiting investment and economic potential. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't even, you own a house and you can't even decide to buy.
It's not even an asset to you, slack yet.
It's not even an asset.
God.
And knowing our people invest good money in houses, lot of money in houses.
God.
Yeah. Because they want to come home and feel like they're in their castle. Proposed solution and reform. Systematic land registration. Implementing adjudication centric processes to efficiently prove ownership and simplify titling. Alright. Implementing adjudication centric processes to efficiently prove ownership and simplify titling. All right. The thing is, the land, yeah, but it was just put there to keep certain people out.
God.
Because the basic rule in land ownership in Jamaica is that nobody is a land owner, not even them planter crossy people. They are not land owners, they are land holders.
Oh.
You see, when you say you have a title for your land,
God.
you know what you have? You have a copy of the title.
Okay.
Every single original title for land is held in the land titling office in Kingston.
Okay. So basically, the crown.
The crown owns all land.
God.
So they can easily make the decision as to what to do with it.
God.
That is why in America you had what they used to destroy many of the black communities was what they call adverse possession. But they were unfair because if they are going to possess the land on which you have your property, then you should be compensated for your property.
Right.
So they use adverse possession and make black people poorer. So Jamaica now, the same thing with Westmoreland. Whatever them name, whoever name the land is in, they are just landholders. You can take it from them. Yeah, and compensate them. You can decide at what price you want to compensate them. Because a lot of the government is also the bastard because a lot of the sugar lands is not even in the company's name. A lot of it is in the sugar holdings name. But sugar holding now is holding these land for cane planting or some kind of, well, it named sugar holding, so cane farming they own these land for.
God.
Which is why anyone at the old, as a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, there was a time when there was over 300 sugar factories in Jamaica. But they didn't want any. That was before you have mechanization in the industry. When the slave had to cut the cane and you carry it to the factory. Well, it was really more like a mill and boiling house. and they would boil the sugar in these huge copper pots. And then they start to mechanize the industry now, and many of these sugar small boiler house disappear, and they merge into one factory.
One big factory.
Right, but
God.
those who own the land, who hold the land, still own it.
Okay.
Because they would still carry it rather than boiling the sugar at your location. You would take it would you would have these. First, it was train. When they come in the train used to carry the cane. So they would have to cut the cane and use either that or you walk, carry it down to the end of to where the cane track.
Yeah.
The train track was, and load it in the cart, and then the train would pull it to the factory. And then after that, they come in with trucks. And the truck became successful because the truck could actually go in the field for the cane rather than just on the road side, on the outside.
Gun.
So the trucks could go in the field, and they would do that. So after that, now the owners became landowners, became a lot, because if you have 300 acres and if you have 300 acre land, and most of them places more than 300 acres of land, your family grow by the time you, not until now, the family might reach 50 and even though the law states as to the ownership of the land, just like how we would have it in the Bible. You part in the scriptures, you pass down your inheritance to your firstborn. Which will be your first son. Providing that he is responsible. If he is irresponsible, you pass it down the line. Right? So in Esau's world, it's a similar thing. So that is why now you see some communities, blacks want to do business there, and what they have to do, put up one board shop on the gully bar. But they're not selling online. You might can get land to buy in the town areas, but you can buy it. Most people say, well, if they didn't have them the amount of money they could buy them the land, they probably don't think about doing no business. You don't have money. Right, so these but land is power. And the plantocracy people them understand that. That is why them hold on to it. Even when sugar dead, because sugar has been dead for quite a while now. What is making money same way is rum.
Gun.
Yeah, Appleton making money most. Still make rum, but sugar dead out there. I must say only one in Lloydersville still producing sugar. The last 3 sugar companies that the government factories that the government have, Langfan, Monimos, Bernard Lodge, and the Chinese bought them and them shut down now. But they have thousands of hectares of land in the holdings.
Okay. So that the Chinese really buy it for them, the land.
Well, they don't own the land.
Okay.
The land is linked to the factory. So the factory, whoever own the factory, dictates the uses of them land. Yeah.
Okay.
That is what the sugar holdings law dictates. You know, so sugar holding, even though they can release some of these, and what they have been doing over the years in places like St. Catherine, parts of Clarendon, is to put thing there on these farmlands, housing scheme. That's another thing too. I have put housing scheme on these lands. A couple of years from now, the whole supply chain, you know, where you saw how, like how St. Elizabeth Lick and St. Elizabeth provides scallion and thyme and garlic and onion, and St. Elizabeth get licked with the hurricane, or you can just go and import it from America. A couple of years from now, you won't be able to do that, you know. When your thing get licked, you're going to have to do without. Which means we're going to have to put more land back into farming. But anyway, guess what? People going to just take them and plant on them. Because nothing is on them but akasha. And funny enough, it's the same land, it's the same wood that make the Ark of our Covenant that come up on these lands. After them stop produce cane and them, the same wood that made the Ark of the Covenant start growing. Akasha wood.
Right.
One more reading. Reducing adverse possession period, right? The opposition PNP proposes reducing the 60-year rule to 25 for most crown land. So the PNP will propose that. Digitization, moving to digital titles and surveys for faster, more accessible information. Wealth transfer. This is the crux of the matter. Wood deteriorate after a while. Concrete deteriorate, but concrete take a way longer time to deteriorate than the wood. But, repeat what I'm saying?
No, Mr. Khan was agreeing with you, sir.
So, like for those people down in Westmoreland now, you build a chattel house, you know. Alright, remove the hurricane. You build a chattel house, which is board. That house might just live the same life like you, meaning by the time you should die, that house deteriorates. So it's not anything much to pass on to your children.
Gone.
And a lot of these people who used to live in the what they call the sugar housing, these houses were owned by the sugar factories, and people live in them. Sugar factory come close. I think Railway Corporation had a similar thing too. Where a lot of their people their workers used to live on the railway land. But railway gone out of business now, they have no work, but they still living there. What is not your house? That's nothing to pass on to your child. So this put our people in a position where they are unable to transfer wealth to their kids. Alright, so wealth transfer. Plan to transfer government land to citizens, creating wealth and dignity. A long time I want to talk about that. That may or may not happen. Policy framework. Developing national land policies for transparent management and development. Current effort. The government is actively paying off loans and titles and using systematic registration to issue thousands of new titles. Okay. So some of these lands are locked up in loans. So, but maybe the owners them dead. How about if the owners them dead, then that the loan supposed to write off. So anyway, that's what it says. The government actively paying off loans to free up some titles. Both major parties, JLP, PNP, have land reform as a key part of their platforms, with competing but similar goals for tenure security. In essence, land reform in Jamaica is about bringing land administration into the modern era, correcting historical wrongs, and unlocking significant social and economic benefits by securing land ownership for more citizens. All right, put some more scriptures. Isaiah 48 and 10,
Gun.
10 to 11.
Gun. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, and verse 10. Go, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction.
Right, so the Most High here now, this is what Isaiah told Isaiah that to tell the people them this, that he has refined us, but not with silver. You know what I mean by not with silver? In the Bible, silver is money.
Gun.
So this is not like how we would address in silver chain or silver bracelet and them things. This is money. So he said he has refined us, but it's not money in use to refine it. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. So, you know, our affliction always linked with money. But money for who? For the next nation. Because all the suffering that our people go through, it is to make money for the oppressor.
Gun.
So they want you to work, but they don't want to pay you. That's what slavery was all about. Working man not paid. So the Most High said, affliction is what he has used to refine us. Verse 11.
Gun. Verse 11. For mine own sake, even for mine own sake will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another.
So, this is another thing that we Israelites can look on and know that what the promises that are in the Bible is for you. The Most High said he will not give his glory to another. Meaning, they come in and oppress you and think, but the Most High not accept them.
Right.
They can't come call themselves children of God. They can't come call themselves the saints. He will not give his glory unto another. How should my name be polluted? So that's why I'm saying, that's why he's going to come and give a glory. Grand style rescue, grand style delivery. Alright, when them see them chariots riding in, of course they're going to start urinate on himself. Many of them going to defecate on themselves. But they know exactly what it means in it. And that is why they keep on looking in the sky. Just like the child who, the kids in the school who is making trouble. They keep on looking out for the teacher because they know that they're making trouble. Yeah, man.
Gun.
The minute they gotta do and then or they set up somebody to watch because they know that they're doing things that they should not be doing. The one who is behaving himself, not watching out for the teacher.
Right.
So the troublemaker is the one stargazing and looking out. That thing is moving. It's not moving like an asteroid. We're gonna call it. They call it
Try.
Three-eye atlas.
Yeah. Yeah.
It moves as if it has intelligence. But no, Mr. Oppressor, they know exactly what it they know exactly what it means. And they know that these things is coming not for them, but against them.
Right.
Alright. So the Most High said he will not give his glory unto another. So, hurricane lick hard, but just hold on, my people, and know that better days coming. And to show you that better days is indeed coming. People then get licked by hurricane, nothing can go in, nothing can come out. No current to give them running water in their home. And the Most High open springs with them.
Gone.
So that they can do some washing in the areas that there is no water in their pipe. People using these waters, clean water, wash them clothes, catch water, boil and use it for domestic purpose. What God is doing that? He's the one doing it. Give me Isaiah 54 and 4.
Gun. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 4. And they shall spring up as amongst the grass, as willows by the water courses.
All right. Isaiah 54 and 4.
Oh, 54.
Yeah.
Okay, Gun. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 4. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame, for thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shall not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore.
All right. So what's the widowhood? What put you into widowhood? What makes a widow?
So like your husband dead.
Leaving the wife.
Okay.
Right. So if Israel is in widowhood, it means who was Israel's husband? Not the man Israel, but the nation Israel.
Yeah.
Israelites.
So like you sir, the most high that be like the most high turning back away.
Exactly. So the Most High is the Israelites' husband.
Yeah.
And he said, "No, you shall not remember the reproach of your widowhood anymore," which means because in turning back on us the things that happen to us pretty soon, yeah, it's gonna be all right.
Gun.
When we are under oppression, these are the things that happen. They take you live on land which you can't claim, and you will never be able to claim it because that's what they're keeping you for to work, right? during slavery, when they had the what they call it great houses, these great houses were the plantation owner house, big pretty house. And guess who used to live in the great house? To the slaves. You used to have the slave quarters, you know. And the slave quarters was the less refined part of the house. It's like you have a dungeon on the house, right?
Yeah.
So these are you living in something that looks glorious, but it's not your heaven. That's what is happening to us in this kingdom. And this is what knock a lot of people mind in America. You're looking at this big pretty place and you can't enjoy it. You can't enjoy it. You can't even drive on the street good. If you drive on the street and you just hear behind you, woo! You know, the police siren. Man, you want urinate up yourself. You want defecate on yourself. Because you live in these kind of places, but you cannot enjoy it. Right? But the most I say, don't be afraid, man. You won't be ashamed and you won't be confounded. You know, what's the shame? Look, a lot of the places that get knocked, you know, people ain't kind of ashamed. Because it's desolation. Desolation brings shame. You won't be confounded, meaning, you know, let's look at some for the right meaning for confound. Alright? So confounded.
So,
Yeah.
confounded, used for emphasis, especially to express anger or annoyance. Cause surprise or confusion in someone, especially by not according with their expectation, especially by not according with their expectation.
Right. So used for emphasis. Confound. So confound is cause surprise or confusion. So even though they come and tell us, oh, we are African and we are this and we are that, you know, the Most High still has saved us a righteous branch that we might not be confused. Right? Remove the confusion. But many of us still can't draw the line between their people and the oppressor because they seem to be getting some benefits. So they are confused because they are telling you, the scripture tells you that he will not give his glory unto another. So you know, look and still say every nation can go into heaven, can be a part. Every nation will be there, but in what capacity? But what they're talking about is enjoying the glories of heaven. That won't happen. Each time when people say that, you know, me really look and say, me really I think though, because look at this world here now. You ever really look at the lifestyle of the oppressor and see why we say they are in heaven? It's simply because it's the good life they're living in it. Think of the common things that you struggle with.
Slack, I said that again, sir.
Think of the common things that we as a people struggle with.
Yeah.
You know, we trying to get to work every day, you know, to answer to our boss. They try to get to work each day to set work for the slaves. Not the same thing. I mean, they want to understand the lifestyle or the heaven that and privilege that the oppressor have. Just look at the president. Look at Trump. Look at Donald Trump. And you don't understand the privilege. This is a man who they have turned into a convict. There he is being president. I was listening to a video and said he set up a nice lawsuit before he become president and put it before the court and it have gone good. And then he win the election. And then only to realize now that he's president, he's suing himself. Now, which black man will get them the kind of privilege, you know? Bad man. I tell you, no matter how you rich, you tell some lie and you lose your wealth faster than how computer multiply two zeros. I look at Kanye. But they almost make Kanye lose his mind. You think of you having $700 million in the bank and you can't touch it. Not because you owe anybody anything. As a matter of fact, I don't even need to think that far. Right? $1 million is Shalom, Lord and Christ, Officer Madabar. What's up, bro? What's up, warrior? Right, you think of $1 million. You have it in the bank. You know you work for it. You don't owe anybody anything out of it. And you can't touch it. Simply because you want some. It's not like they steal it like Usain Bolt do. Just some people showing your power. So now, man, this account lock money. You can't touch this money. That is what we are faced with now. Right? So land reform, and not much faith with them now, because what they're getting when they say they do land reform is a house spot they ain't going to give, People need land to farm.
Done.
House spot is just for you to go and live on. Alright, we'll close off with this scripture here. Joel 2:26-27. Book of Joel.
Gone. This is the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 26. And ye shall eat in plenty and be satisfied and praise the name of the Lord your God, that has dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed.
That's the promise he has been making for us. All we need to do to enact or to put these promises in place or put it into action is to keep the Most High's law. keep his laws, statutes, keep his laws, and you shall not be ashamed or confounded. That's his promise. So you don't know that you will be punished for not keeping the laws. Keep them. All these promises that we are reading about is for you. Right? And Christ is coming to give you that kind of redemption. It's gonna happen in the life, not when you're dead. 27.
Verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed.
Right. And this is not talking to all mankind.
Right.
This is not talking to all mankind. You read the scriptures and stop reading it through the eyes of the very man who is oppressing you. Right? And you will see and understand that all these is yours. So you see, because of this the way how them set up the whole land ownership in Jamaica and thing, that's one of the things that makes our people poor. It makes our people poor. When the Moses was giving us inheritance in Moses' time, the land you get was not a house spot, you know. You got land to farm. We did our own farming. We didn't depend on other nation. But whenever I have a house spot, you know, what you think is happening? You is a slave. You're going to work to buy everything you want. Because you don't have enough land to plant the things that you would need. So you're still a slave. You understand what I'm saying? Carry on.
Say that again, sir.
I say, if you understand what I said.
I miss what you said a while ago because there's something in front of me. Say that again.
I said, when they reform the land and they give you a house spot, you're still a slave. You can't plant nothing to be independent. I mean, from time to time, tomatoes are one thing that go up. Price go on $1,000 sometimes. You don't have a sensible piece of land. You can't even plant a tomato tree. Alright? So it's like you can't be independent in anything. Most of the people in St. Elizabeth is them ground that they call it ground. But the farm where them plant sometimes it's miles away from their house, from where they live. In other words, they're going a bush, no man's land, and clear a piece of land that nobody not using, take piece of the forestry and plant. They still not own it, but nobody not trouble it. You understand?
Gone.
That is how many of them survive. Alright, so that's it. Any comments?
Yeah, sir.
Alright, so land reform is a serious thing in Jamaica. People should at least be living with some dignity. Good God, man. After slavery, not even that we can have.
Right.
Mr. Prime Minister. Having dignity is not just not running behind food truck when it comes down. The people are hungry, they have to run behind food truck and water truck. Give them some dignity, let them own some land so they can put up structures that don't get this kind of damage during an hurricane. All right, so with that, Shalom, Yahweh. This is the conflict zone. Until we meet again, another week we'll do another episode of the conflict zone. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.